remember reading these passages in the Quran before, talking about these laws and specific details. There's a flexibility, there's a scale of flexibility. You can even eat pork if you're going to starve to it, but avoid it if you can. And I thought that kind of makes sense. I remember reading some stuff in the Old Testament before where it says if you break some of these laws, you actually get killed. And I thought, that the Quran actually has the clarity that makes Moses' laws, that brings them kind of like into a realistic sphere that we can practice. Don't do these things, but avoid them if you can. Other statistics. Suicide. One of my heroes, former preacher Yusuf Estes, talks about the fact that the countries that claim to be the most atheistic, that are proud to be beyond religion and in a higher sphere of understanding, a higher realm of understanding, they also have the highest suicide rates. We also see things like STDs in places where people don't have religion. We see suicide, we see depression, we see drug use, all these kind of things. Not just divorce, but things that really could make it so you can't even reform your life. And look at the Pew statistics on this. Go online and check them out for yourself. It's fascinating to see some parts of the world where you see the highest HIV rates in the world, right next to the lowest HIV rates, and the lowest HIV rates would be in the Muslim world. Look at the suicide rates. Look at the divorce rates. Look where you have these psychiatrists where people get depressed. Look at the lifestyle that goes along with the Muslim countries. If you get a chance to visit them, like I have, there are opportunities here at UNM. They'll pay for you to go visit. You get to know these people and look at the way they live. It might not be as different from the kind of values you want to live by if you consider yourself a person of faith, a person who loves the Bible, and a person who loves Jesus, or if you're a Jewish background, a person who loves the prophets before Jesus. Just think about this because it's really worth looking at the facts. Look at the statistics, look at the numbers, look at the actual lives people live, and see if those are values that are contrary to the way you want to live, or if that really works with the way you want to live. I know there are other speakers who want to go up and talk today. I have 5 minutes. Good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I got all kinds of stuff I'd like to say. There's one thing I'd like to address that a lot of the anti-Muslim, anti-Islamic writers really harp on. They talk about the first Bill of Human Rights for sister religions as if it were a bad thing. Now, we know about what happened, but a lot of us don't know certain things. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, prayed next to Christians in the Medina mosque. He invited Christians to pray next to him. Up until the Umayyad period, St. John's Mosque in Damascus was for Christians and Muslims to pray together. In Umayyad Muslim-ruled Spain, Christians and Muslims prayed next to each other in the Cordoba Cathedral, at the time the Cordoba Mosque. This is something that is really encouraging. And then we look at what happened right after that. Spanish took back their land with the Reconquista, the conquest of Spain. An unfortunate consequence of that was chasing all the Muslims out of forcing them to convert. Well, under Islamic rule, Christians and Muslims were praying in the same building together to the same God, following the example of the Prophet, peace be upon him, the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad. And I thought that's a great way to respect each other's faiths. Why are people doing that today? And then I thought about, what Islam has inside of it. It is a bill of rights for the sister religions that wouldn't allow an inquisition to happen, that wouldn't allow a Holocaust to happen. And that is this word that's become a buzzword to say, if you're not a Muslim, you're a dhimmi. Well, what that means is that there is a minimal amount of human rights you're given if you're not part of the majority. If you're not part of the majority, you cannot be reduced to subhuman rights, even under the worst circumstances. Now, in practice, it's generally been much better than that in the Islamic world. During the peak of Islamic culture, you had Christian communities growing, flourishing, and the Coptic community in Egypt, when Egypt was prosperous and independent, grew to such heights that it still outnumbers the Christians in many of the smaller European countries. The Maronites in Lebanon live a very good life, and they're a big, powerful political group now. But they wouldn't have that if they didn't have the numbers. There had to have been respect for human rights. There couldn't have been an inquisition. There couldn't have been a Holocaust. And still have these big numbers that you have in the Middle East Christians today. It's the minimal human rights that are attributed to the sister religions which make Islam unique among the faiths. And as much as I love Christianity, I wish the Inquisition hadn't happened, and I wish Christians wouldn't let the Holocaust happen. Because if they could have had something like the Islamic stipulation of the dhimmi status, they would have said, the lowest you can do is still respect them as humans, even if there are all kinds of other preferences given to the majority. And I think that's a great way to live, because in practice, that has given that's given us vibrant Christian communities in the Middle East that practice Christianity closer than people in the West do. And you just heard me talk about that a little bit. How much time do I have now? 2 minutes, all right. Or is that just peas? All right. One of the hardest things was, okay, the Bible says there are prophets after Jesus, but how does that mean it's Muhammad? That's hard for me to get my head around. But then again, you look at the Old Testament, it never actually says a person named Jesus is coming. Muslims and Christians accept that prophecy is right, but it didn't describe it in those exact words. It uses Emmanuel, or Emmanuel is Hebrew. If you know Arabic, with us. In Hebrew, that's Emmanuel. So Emmanuel, El is, again, Allah. God is with us. Not exactly Jesus' name, but again, it prophesies that the Messiah is going to come. Now, the actual root of the word Muhammad is used in the Old Testament. It comes up in reference to Solomon as an adjective. If you know what the Arabic for Muhammad means, it just means praiseworthy. It comes up, and the same root exists in Hebrew. If you look at Song of Songs, where is that? It is the Song of Songs in the Old Testament, and I will come across it, I promise, before I finish. Song of Songs 5:16. Look at the Hebrew and interlinear text, you'll find that word. But people say, well, but that clearly refers to Solomon. It uses the root, and if we can believe Jesus comes from the Old Testament tradition and it doesn't give him by name, why can't we believe that when it says other prophets are coming after Jesus and we have the word Muhammad given in the Old Testament, we can't say that this is a possibility. Just a possibility, not something that we have to believe, not something that we have to buy into 100%. All I needed to do was get past those obstacles that people put in front of me and some of them I had to put in front of myself. And if there's something that's important to somebody that's out there, if you're very strong in your Christian faith, I encourage you to stay strong in your Christian faith and remember the example of the prophet who enjoyed us to pray together, to pray next to each other, and to try to respect each other and to try to understand each other. And again, the stipulation, the idea that Christians and Jews are supposed to be given the minimal amount of respect, even under the worst circumstances, even under war circumstances. There's this bill of human rights protecting the fellow Abrahamic faith, and we must live by it. If you are not of the mind that, well, I'm not religious, I'm beyond that, I'm more scientific, then think about this. Think of the statistics and think of the numbers. And think of if you want to have faith in your life, you have to be able to believe. Because you've been given an unclear message, or someone has distorted it, or maybe you like what Jesus says, but you don't like the falsehoods. Maybe you believe that there can be a God, but there shouldn't be God that also has a human form that didn't know about what the Father was thinking and that kind of stuff. You can't get your head around that. I'm not trying to say if you're a Christian, that you shouldn't believe what you're believing. Keep with it, even though I believe the true religion of Christianity is Heroism Christianity, not Humble Christianity. But if you're a non-believer and you want to believe, and you just need to consider that if there is one creator, this creator does not have a face. He does not have hands and feet, he does not have human form, and that's why Muslims do not draw pictures of him. That's because it's something that goes beyond our physical images of how any being should look. It's something which is far beyond that, and this is a very clear message. I encourage everyone to read it, friend, if you get a chance, or just to learn more about it, or just to make more friends with Muslims. It's a beautiful way of life. It has the statistics and numbers behind it to prove it, and I hope that all of us, whether we are Christians or whether we are unbelievers who want to believe, we get together and talk more about this, because this is a beautiful way of life, and you either should be getting closer to it in terms of making friends with Muslims, or even considering this as a way of life for yourself. Thank you very much.